अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम।
कैसे हैं आप सर?
मैं
खैरियत से?
ठीक ठाक, आप सुनाएं।
अल्लाह का करम, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। एनीवे सर, जब मुझे पता चला कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर लाइफ कोच,
Yeah.
इट्स अ बिग टर्म,
Yeah, it is.
इट्स अ वेरी बिग टर्म के
It is indeed.
because you don't get to hear life coach in Pakistan. You get to
Yeah.
hear therapist, you get to hear hypno,
Psychiatrist.
psychiatrist, things like that. लेकिन लाइफ कोच एक ऐसा टर्म है सर, इस टर्म को मेरे लिए थोड़ा डिफाइन करेंगे ताकि मैं
Okay.
समझ सकूं।
Actually, life coach has no specific definition.
ठीक है।
So life coaching is not something that you can find the definition out of any literature or something like that. Life coaching is all about life.
बिल्कुल सही है।
Whatever is happening in your life that directly deals with the life coaching stuff. But there's a very thin line between a life coaching and a therapy. Because therapy or any other psychological treatments is different from the life coaching stuff.
Very nice.
Life coaching deals with the people. First of all, you have to be very sure that we do not prescribe any medicines. Right.
Okay.
So that is not something that which actually end up with writing some medication for some patients.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with it. Life coaching has no formal education or trainings or certification. That doesn't need any certification or any proper qualifications to be a life coach. Life coaching is something which deals with the people, but just about to cross the line which is being defined the way that if they cross it, they might become a patient or a mental patient sort of people who needs a psychiatrist, who needs a psychologist further, and they might end up with some medications for the rest of their life. We deal with the people who are stressful in their life, or if they are not stressful but they are not happy in their life, they want to do something really good in their life, they want to achieve some really success in their life, or maybe if they are really broken in their life. So, but to the certain limit. Because if that certain limits is met, they cross that certain limits, they would become, patients for proper medication, and they should seek the doctors which are trained for that.
Before that,
before
that.
Yeah, we deal with the people or the stress or the objectives of the life or the counseling and all that stuff before they cross that particular line.
Ignore my manners, sir. I should have introduced you first, but I was too curious to ask this question कि मैं अपने आप को रोक नहीं सका. तो खैर, Shiraz Mughal sab with us, a life coach, a perfect example for everyone to look up to, and
it's my prayer.
Yeah.
It's my prayer to have you.
It was really nice to have you on board.
Yeah.
I was trying to get hold of him for a very long time, लेकिन इनकी मसरूफियत इतनी थी कि मौका नहीं मिला मुलाकात करने का.
It's always a pleasure to have with you, Wasim.
Thank you
very much for that. I really take it as a compliment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Getting back to the first question, sir, जो कि मुझे बल्कि हर दूसरे शख्सियत का ये क्वेश्चन अब उनके अपने साथ होता है कि what is that key factor, that secret ingredient, that idea जिसके थ्रू आप एक ग्रो कर सकते हैं एक स्ट्रेस फ्री लाइफ के साथ.
Okay. Well, every life on this in this planet, you have to be very sure that every single life is different from another life.
Okay.
So every life is different from our life. That's the first thing. And if anything happens in anyone's life, whatever is it, either it's an event, either it's a challenge, or it's a pain, or it's a suffering, or it's a kind of a stuff the one is going on, whatever is happening. There are many perspectives to look at that event. There are different angles to look at it. Right? So, if you really want to have a very basic fundamental key, and you have to understand that whatever is happening in your life, you should keep changing the angle to look into that event, or whatever is happening. हम एक कॉमन मिस्टेक करते हैं कि हम अपनी लाइफ में हमारे साथ जो भी कोई भी ऐसा स्ट्रेसफुल वाक़या हो जाता है या कोई भी ऐसा दुख देने वाला इंसिडेंट हो जाता है, तो हम उस इंसिडेंट को सिर्फ एक ही एंगल से देखते रहते हैं. हम उसको सिर्फ एक ही एंगल से ऑब्जर्व करते हैं जो कि आपको वो रिजल्ट दे रहा होता है जो आप लेना चाह रहे होते हैं. सो आपने अगर वाकई स्ट्रेस से फ्री लाइफ गुजारनी है, अगर आपने वाकई एक हैप्पी लाइफ गुजारनी है, तो आपने अपने आप को रेडी करना होगा कि उस पर्टिकुलर इवेंट को आपने हर एंगल से एनालाइज करना है. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. you just suffered through a broken relationship, like you have just broken up, right? So you are just looking at this particular event the way that why it is happening to me all the time, why it's me all the time getting stressed, why it's me going through this pain and all these sufferings, why it's me. So if that's one prospect,
Okay.
but if you try to change that prospect,
Yes.
and see that whatever has happened, that might be the way that someone has exposed himself or herself quite early. So you should be thankful to him or her, because now you have rest of your life with you.
You mean to say there are
What-
multiple ways of
There are
looking
multiple,
at
there are
something.
multiple angles, there are multiple perspectives, like which you should be able to look at that event from.
Sahi.
Right? So if you try to change the perspective, you would have a different result. You would have a different feelings. You would have a different impact on your personality, on your approach towards the life. But if you keep looking at the single event from a single angle or with a single perspective, you would never be able to understand, and you would never be able to actually get yourself out of that pain and the sufferings.
Definitely.
You have to change, you keep changing the perspectives
बिल्कुल,
to
definitely.
actually look at that event and whatever is happening.
ठीक है सर आई मीन एक बड़ा लेंथ से क्वेश्चन है जो कि सब जब क्लास में बच्चा पहली दफ़ा जाता है उससे सबसे पहले पूछा जाता है कि व्हाट डू यू वांट टू बी इन योर लाइफ तो यू हैड एनी आइडियाज लाइक दैट व्हेन यू वर यंग
Yeah. Look, this is something that what you want to be in your life. You know,
somebody says I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer and something like
you don't need to actually look for the rules or for the role models.
you're absolutely right.
You don't need to actually look, because you are a completely different
Person.
life. You're a
Different.
completely different person. Yeah? So what you need to do is to you should be able to understand yourself. You should be able to take control of your own
Life.
self.
So
Yeah, your own self. Your self is composed of three components. One is the body,
body,
second is the mind,
mind,
and third is the emotions.
emotions.
Right. So if you're able to control, if you're able to get master of your all these three components,
बिल्कुल सही है.
whatever is happening in your life would be in your control.
ठीक है.
Whatever you are doing, you will be giving it 100%.
ठीक
So
है.
once you are giving it 100%, that's in your control. Once you are giving it 100%, you would do whatever you want to be, and you will be joyful. Because the point is that if you want to be a doctor, why? You want to be an engineer, why? You want to be a businessman, why? What is the end goal?
Okay.
What is the end of the end? End of the end is that you want pleasure. You want to be happy.
Okay.
By the end of the day,
Whatever
the ultimate goal,
occupation that
the
satisfies
ultimate
you.
goal is this, that you want to be happy in the end,
Okay.
right? So if you are earning the happiness through these professions and all these things,
ठीक है.
if you're trying to earn the happiness in the end, so why don't you actually just put all these things aside and try to seek the happiness within yourself? Because these are the only circumstances. I know people who are not happy, but they have managed to have all those circumstances, but still they are not happy.
बिल्कुल सही है.
So if you try to make a goal for yourself, do make a goal for yourself. Nobody is stopping you. But you should be able to understand that whatever has happened to you, whatever has been thrown to you,
Yeah.
that might not be in your control. But whatever you are offering or whatever you are putting, that is 100% in your control.
Definitely.
So you should give 100% whatever you are doing. Whatever you are doing. Either you want to be a doctor, either you want to be an engineer, either you want to, whatever you want to be. You have to give the 100%, because that might not happen. Because if you're desiring for to be a doctor, like, and if you're dreaming about to be an engineer in the end, you want to be like, if you have some dreams at the age of 18, I'm telling you, at the age of 40, you might be saying that, oh God, thank you very much, that dream came true. So that might be the case. That कि आपने आज से 20 साल 25 साल पहले कोई ख्वाब देखा था और आज आप शुक्र अदा कर रहे हैं कि यार अच्छा ही हो वो पूरा नहीं हुआ. Right? So that is the case. So what you need to do is whatever you're doing right now, give some value to it.
ठीक है.
Give some value to it, and accept the reality, live in the reality, and give your 100%. Rest of the things, let the time decide.
Okay.
Do not actually get yourself bothered about that.
बिल्कुल ठीक है.
And you would actually be at the position or at the level for which you have been sent for on the earth.
Perfect.
For which you have been sent on the earth. You will actually achieve that goal for which you have been actually made for. You will automatically, that things will automatically happen for you in the end. And you would be the person actually exactly what you are. You should try to actually give your 100% to whatever you're doing right now and giving it some value.
ठीक है. So this brings me to my next question. Relating to the first question, the only reason I asked you that, there are two ways of someone becoming someone. For example, एक तो पहले से pre-exist करता है आपकी personality के अंदर. दूसरा किसी बड़े cause की वजह से you decide to become someone. For example, many of my friends became a doctor because they saw their mothers, suffering from a particular disease, and then they decided to become a doctor to serve others. So, आपके अंदर मुझे ये तो पहले से नजर आ रहा है कि ह्यूमैनिटी को सर्व करने की स्ट्रीक मेरा ख्याल है आप में काफी वक्त से. What made you decide to serve people by becoming a life coach?
Look, Vasav, it's not about deciding something that you want to be this or you want to be that. It doesn't work that way because there are so many people in this world who decides on the first day that I want to be like this, and the next day they change their decision. So it does not lie with your decision, but it happens
By
automatically.
itself, naturally.
Yeah, it happens itself. It happens naturally.
Yeah.
So you should not be actually worried about that. What I want to be. You shouldn't be worried about that.
Okay.
The key is that whatever you are right now, right at this moment, right now, whatever you are doing, give some value to it and give your 100%. The rest of the things would automatically happen for you. I'm telling you.
Definitely.
Rest of the things would automatically. Once you start giving your 100%.
Definitely.
And whatever you're doing, and you're giving it some value, and you're contributing towards the society.
Okay.
The things which are supposed to happen would actually happen the way even you haven't even thought about before.
Alright.
You would have never ever thought about that because this world is so balanced and it's so sophisticated. There's a universal algorithm going on in this whole universe who knows that what you exactly want and how you should be in the society. Let the time decide.
True.
Let the time decide. Whatever you're doing, you should educate yourself in a way that you like.
Okay.
You should struggle whatever you want to be. Doesn't matter. But you shouldn't be actually getting yourself so much stuck with something like I want to be a doctor, and a hell of the things happen. I want to be a doctor. Whatever it takes, I want to be a doctor. You should not have that perspective in your life.
Okay.
Right. So what you need to do is okay, fine. I like this. Let's struggle for that. Let's do work for that. Let's collect the information. Let's do whatever is required for that. But do not actually get yourself so much involved and so much intentionally, get yourself in a
That
way.
makes you emotionally disabled.
Emotional, yeah, because you will lose your control in the end.
Okay.
So the key is that you have to actually be in control of yourself. So once you have control of yourself and giving your 100%, rest of the things will automatically happen for you. Because there are things actually, and there are forces which are actually deciding what exactly you have to be in this world. And you will automatically be the same way.
Well, all this was very enlightened and very new.
Yeah, because that has some other dimension to actually talk about. But right now, I think that we should not touch that dimension. But
okay.
So, yeah, just try to believe in that that the things would happen. If you're sincere in what you're doing,
it would.
And if you are sincere to yourself first and whatever you're doing, eventually the things will start happening for you. From nowhere it will start happening for you. And you would eventually achieve whatever you have been sent for on this planet.
Definitely, sir, definitely. As you're aware that we have a festival coming up, and everybody will be, getting along with their families, friends, and moving on a holiday. So, for that festival in particular, would you like to give out any message that?
Yeah, I would like to.
Or a greeting or something to
like
people who are listening to us.
I would definitely comment on that, the way that a life coach should comment. I'm not good in advising the people.
Uh-huh.
It's not actually my business, or because what I
Oh,
would
you
like
can just
to,
greet them.
yeah,
for
I can
something.
greet. I can greet in a different way. Let me tell you. You know, this festival actually brings humans together.
Yeah, it does.
So, you know, and when they're together, they're in relationships. There are many forms of relationships.
Yeah.
Another mother, the father, the parents, and friends, and husband, wife, children. There are so many forms of relationships. This human relationship is something which you need to understand, and which everyone else should understand.
Okay.
That human relationships are variable entities.
Variable entities.
They are variable entities. They keep changing. Ups and downs comes, right? So if you are looking for an absolute relationship, which never changes,
Mm-hmm.
then it's better that you should develop a very strong absolute relationship with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. It would never change
Basics.
because He is there. Today is there, and after 3 years, He will still be there. After 10 years, you remember, oh, I was in a relationship. He'll still be there. So it's an absolute relationship. But when it comes to the human relationships are variable entities. What you need to do all the time is to manage these relationships on the daily basis. You have to maintain these relationships on the daily basis. So you should keep this thing in your mind when you're with your parents, or when you're with beloved ones, or with your
Be
kids,
there
or
with
whatever.
them.
Whenever you be there, you should understand that they are different from you and you're different from them. And if there's a relationship, you have to maintain this relationship. These are not absolute relations. Do not expect that someone would be the same way that you want it to be.
Okay.
Because you might be thinking that this is the best for him or her, but that might not be the best for him or her in his perspective.
All
So
right.
accept this. Give some space to it, and give some give some value to the differences you have. So give them some value to breathe from that. So you need to be very conscious about that. Human relationships are variable entities.
They are.
Things happens. Just
Things
let them
happen.
go. Just
Yeah.
let them go. And
Put the differences aside.
yeah,
and
put the
just
differences
get along
aside
very well.
and try to maintain these relationships. That's the beauty of the relationships. And
That's
just
beautiful.
give a good hug to everyone you love and you are with, and let's share the joy and share the pleasures. That's my message to all of you.
Well, that was a very enlightening and perfect message that everybody should consider. All right, then, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
And
Edwin,
thank
sir.
you very much for sparing enough time to
Thanks
sit with
for
us.
it's my place.
and
Always my
letting
pleasure
your
to
audience
be
know
with you, and
how you
it's
feel.
very nice to be here with all you people.
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And thank you all for listening, and many happy greetings for Eid. And I look forward to your comments and your responses to the wonderful interview of Shiraz Mughal. Thank you.